Okay, welcome to Bitrix24 Live. I am Damien Edwards, the Commercial Manager of Bitrix24 Partners Interface. We are Bitrix Gold Partners. We are based in the UK and have offices in the US and Dubai. Contact details are on the screen there. Get in touch with us if you have any questions during this session, but also if you want to have a one-to-one demo or discuss your requirements in more detail. You can get in touch with us on one of those numbers or email us at sales@interface.com. We're going to go through some questions today. If you want to post your questions in the chat window on YouTube, then we will answer those questions wherever possible. There have been some questions coming via email, but we'll stay online for up to an hour if you have questions that you need answering. So ask any questions on any subject area of Bitrix24 and do our best to answer those questions. So questions that have come in previously or during the week. First one is, how many employees can a department have? Is there a limit? There, let's have a look at this. So if we go into our company organization chart, so this is the organization chart. It allows you to create departments, put team members within each of those departments. That allows you to easily find people from a particular department, and I can message these people from this screen as well. So I can open this up and have a chat conversation with this individual. In addition to just showing the organisation of the business, it allows you to run business processes from this. Common one is absence request. So in this sales team here, should either of these two employees submit a request for leave, it will be by default the approval will go to the team leader up here. The question is there a limit? There isn't a limit on the number of employees you can have. Can create departments that sit within departments like this. This is just a demo site, so we don't have too many employees on here, but it will you're able to expand the list of employees shown in the department by clicking on the link, and it'll show you a full list of all employees. So I don't think there's a limit at all on the number of employees you can have in a department. Can I customize the right-hand menu? So let's go back to the activity stream. So this is the right-hand menu. Includes widgets such as your up and coming events, your workflows and tasks. So workflows are those requests that you get for things like leave request and other requests and approvals that you've set up. It can't be customized by default. Can't be customized on the cloud edition. It can be customized on the self-hosted edition. So let's have a little look. So this is a self-hosted edition, and I've logged in as an extranet user because we have customized the view from an extranet user's point of view, and you can see that we've got some banners on the right hand side which don't look standard. So we've added these custom banners. So it is possible to customize that right hand, really possible to customize any area of the system, including the right hand area, if you have a self-hosted edition. So in this case we've just got some graphics that link out to let's just log. Excuse me, let's go back in. That link out to external resources. But yeah, you can customize them if you've got the self-hosted edition. Okay, we have 3 different types of clients. Okay, let me know what you want to do with those 3 different types of clients. And Looking for a good subscription system, what would you recommend? I don't know of any subscription. So you're charging your clients presumably on a monthly basis, and you want to charge them. I mean, in terms of payments, we integrate with Stripe, I believe, and PayPal, and those sort of systems. You can set up recurring payments. So, you can store those. Let's go back into our system. You've got a database within Bitrix that allows you to store all your customers' details in there. If we just look in the CRM, if we go into our contacts, so you can have all your contacts stored in the CRM, and you can categorize these people. Let's have a look. We've got a drop down contact type. No, let's just open up another field. Contact type. So contact type is a standard field, but you can create custom fields, drop downs. So you could have a list of different types of customers, and if they're a subscription customer, then you can categorize them here as a subscription customer. You can then filter out just your subscription customers and do email campaigns and things to them. But yeah, we integrate with Stripe and PayPal, and so really I think that subscription and payment side is going to be set up, those recurring payments are going to be set up on Stripe or PayPal or something like that. Probably not inside Bitrix, but you can store your customer information inside Bitrix. Let's just put our contact details up there again for you. Can you explain permissions in the CRM? Yeah, so if we go back into the CRM and settings, then let's just come out of that. Then we go into permissions, access permissions. So the CRM has its own access permissions, which is very granular. So you can create different roles over here and then assign those roles to either individuals, departments, or members of a work group. So let's look at a role, look at this manager role. The different entities are on the left hand side: contact, company, deal, quotes, invoices, and based on those individual entities you can create different permissions here. So permissions to read, add, update, delete, export, etc. And the sort of options you've got are, so read would be a common one, I guess. Do you want people to be able to access, read, view? Contacts, in this case it's just personal, so those contacts that you're responsible for you can see, you can't see anything else. Quite often within sales team it's personal and departments, you can see your own contacts and anyone else's, any other contacts that are associated with anyone else within your same department, and again that refers back to the company structure chart, so you have that right and then your permissions work right. Or you can have them fully open so all people can see them. So you create your whole structure within here, defining different permissions based on different modules. Within deals, you can have different deal pipelines, and within pipelines, you have different stages. So these are the stages. So an additional, you can set different settings or permissions for different stages. So when a deal gets to a certain stage, you can change the permission, the access permissions. And a good example of that is maybe when a deal's been completed, you might want to restrict access to, let's say, update here. So you might want to restrict anyone from changing that deal once it's been won, so that it's not changed after that deal's been won. So once you've created your individual role, then you assign that role to a group or an individual users. As I said, you've got departments, you've got individual users, you've got social network groups. So we can select an individual user, and then we can choose what sort of role they are going to be assigned. And that's it in terms of permissions. Can we give an end client to have access to his own profile for edits under GDPR rules? I don't know about GDPR rules, but you can give your client access to the system and they can edit their profile within the system. So every user has access to their profile, whether they are a main user or an extranet user. So you can edit this. You know, there'll be different fields available for extranet users, but you can edit. These are custom fields I think we've got set up here. Generally you have sort of job title and phone numbers and things like that. You can choose to select which. So I guess common one obviously is going to be name. So you might give them the option to change any errors on their name. Phone number. So yeah, you can give them access to be able to control, manage and update their settings. So you can create custom fields inside this section. So I can create a field using any of these different field types. Pretty sure that you can then give access to that extranet user to change those field types. I don't think GDPR applies. They're only getting access to their own data, not anyone else's. How do I bulk update responsible person on a lead? So let's go into leads. So we're looking at a filtered view of all leads that are in progress, those that have not been won or lost. What you might want to do is just if you want to bulk update a set of leads, you're going to need to do a filter first. Might be that, for example, you can use any of these fields that exist on a lead to create your filter. So it might be that we're looking for all leads that were created by or created on. Let's look looking for all leads that were created by this user. And what we want to do is change the responsible person. Let's put another field in there. Created on. Let's put last 90 days. So we've got our filtered list of leads that we want to change. If I select them all, I've got an option at the bottom to select an action, and we can change the responsible person. I'm going to change those to this user, and we can apply that. It's quite a few, do it quite quickly. So yeah, that's quite straightforward. You can change really any of the fields like that. I mean, I can change what else can we do in a bulk? We can edit. So I can then edit in a list view like this. So I can edit the lead's name, the status, source, and any other fields that I've got showing. So post your questions if you have any questions in the chat window. I'll stay on for as long as we've got questions coming through. What is the easiest way to build a CRM form using my own domain? I'm on a professional cloud. So if you go to the CRM and CRM Forms, I mean, it's very straightforward to create CRM forms on my own domain. I think by that you mean you want to publish that form on your current website, and you can do that. I'll show you how to do that. So we can create a new form here, click on add. And you need to give it a name. offer form, and then a title that actually appears on the top of the form. And then if you're just using standard fields like name, telephone number, email address, then those fields exist already. So I can put first name, second name, phone number, and photo. We want phone number. Email there. So if you're using fields, if you just need to collect their sort of basic information, those fields will already exist. If you're collecting more, if you want to create a more complex form that asks questions, then you might need to create the custom fields first. Create those in the record that you want the form to generate. In this case, I've pulled the information from the contact. I've got the option down here to choose what sort of record it creates. In this case, it's going to create a lead. I could change that to client, which is contact. Leave it at lead. So you can create your custom fields. All the fields that are available to select in the form are available on this right hand side here. And you can do things like add separators as well, so you can style it up a little bit. You can customize the button and things like that, the submit button. Who's going to be responsible for this record when it's created? Select them down here. And what sort of record are we going to create? We're going to create a lead. Some controls around where it creates a new lead or merges it. If you're collecting email address and things like that, you can use that to prevent creating duplicate records. Can create rules as well. So if first name equals then hide second name. Not a great example, but you can create rules so that as people populate their answers, it can either hide subsequent questions or then show additional questions. So if you're asking people specific questions about product ranges, as they select from a list a product they're interested in, it might want to open up and then a second list so they can drill down further. So take that rule out, but you can create kind of dynamic forms. You can style them up here, so there's some standard styling. You can use your own CSS here. You can attach the code in here or put a path to a CSS file. And that's pretty much it. If I save that, once you've saved it, then you have the option to go back in. You have the option to copy the code now. So if you want to publish this on your own domain, then this is the code that you need to use in your WordPress editor or other web builder, web editor. And then the form will display. If I click on this link here, it will show me it's inactive, so if I just save that again, and this is the form we just created. I need to click on enable, so I didn't tell you about that. Click on enable, and when I click on this link now, it'll show me the form, and that's it. This form here, obviously we've got a background on this page. If you embed it on your own page, then that background will be the background you have on your page. If we just click into edit again, there's some different options in terms of embedding. So fully embed a button or a link to pop up a form, or a time delay, so a form will pop up after a number of seconds. So you can see here it's got the delay is 5 seconds. You can change that in the line of code. And then the form will pop up after 5 seconds on that particular page. So that's forms. Put our contact details up there. If you've got any questions, post your questions in chat window. We only have a couple of questions left, so we'll finish if I don't have any more questions. I want to use my own telephone number in Bitrix. Is there a service you recommend? Let's have a look. So if we go into telephony, so a very common question, you've got a telephone number, you might want to receive phone calls inside Bitrix. how would you do that? So, I mean, the basic way would be to rent a number from Bitrix, and then just to forward that call with your existing provider, arrange a forwarding agreement, so that the incoming calls get forwarded to your Bitrix number, and you receive calls inside Bitrix. But a better way would be to do an integration. So you would need a PBX system. So you need either a physical PBX system in your office or a cloud PBX system, and you would use one of the apps. Well, in fact, you would use either the SIP connector, which is here. So you do either the SIP connector, which is very straightforward to set up. It's $49 a month, and that would, provided your phone provider can allow SIP trunks for that telephone number, then you can connect that number to Bitrix. Pay Bitrix $49 a month, and you can receive and make calls using that number within Bitrix. So that would allow you to go into the CRM and click on a number, it'll dial from the system. The other way to do it is if you have a common phone system, which we have an app for, then you can use that app to do the integration. So things like Ring Central, 3CX, Free PBX, any of these phone systems, if yours is on this list, then that integration can be done through an app. There will be a charge for using these apps. Most of them are built by third parties, I think, and so they charge probably a setup and an ongoing charge. It's usually probably similar in terms of about $49 a month, and then a bit of a setup as well, so charge as well. So there is a bit of work usually involved in doing that integration. So if you just want to use the SIP trunks, so say they're up here, $49 a month, then that's a simpler way of doing that. So let's have a look. Can I have multiple project managers in one project? So let's have a look at projects. So projects sit within this workgroups page. So these are all my projects. I can create another one, click on this link here. And we have workgroups and projects. They're very similar. I think the main difference would be that a project usually has a deadline date, so a start and a finish date, as projects generally do. Workgroups would be a group that you might create for a department or a team that you're intending to keep open. Workgroups don't have those sort of start and finish dates. So within a project, you can create an open project that's visible for everyone. Anyone can become a member. Private project, where you have to be invited to join, and an external project. So those are projects where you can actually invite in people that are not main users of the system. Those would be things like your clients and suppliers, other third parties who can come into the project. So if we click create an external project, give it a name, add your employees. What was your question? Can I have multiple project managers in one project? So this is what you can have in a project. You can have the project owner, you can have moderators, and you can have multiple moderators, and you can have general employees, the main people that are in the project. Normally you would have, let's say, one owner, maybe 2 or 3 moderators, and then everyone else. And these are the external users, the extranet users. So you might have one client in a project, a whole load of general employees in the project, some moderators and one owner. So your question is, can I have multiple project managers? Well, there's always an owner, but the project moderators, you can consider the project managers, and the moderators get access to be able to add and delete content and really manage everything inside the system. So yeah, the answer is you can have more than one project manager. But it might be you want to just specify who's actually in charge of that project, so you can put them in as a project owner. We just open up a work group, project group. then you see down this right hand side the project owner, what we call assistants here. So these will be your project managers, and the other members down here. If you have, and I can open this up to get an expanded view. If you have a self-hosted edition of Bitrix, then you could rename some of these descriptions as well. We can edit in the code some of this description, so you can change that to project managers, and then you'd see all a list of the project managers down there. So within a project group, you have an activity stream, you have tasks, so you can divide down the work of the project into individual tasks. For instance, a training task here. And then within those tasks you can have things like, checklists, and tasks will have different people in them as well, so not everybody in the project will be in every task, no doubt, and so you can see who's in the task, and they've got different permissions. Again, the ability to be able to edit and add and remove content and things. And you can have some comments on a task around progress and things. You can also add time to tasks, either by starting this time tracker, so you'll be recording time in a live essentially, or you can add time at the end of the piece of work or the end of the day by adding it into here. So if I forget to put it in from yesterday, I can go back and put yesterday in, and I can save that time. You can of course roll that up, and we do processes for people where they can roll time up from a whole work group at the end of the month, then multiply that by an hourly rate, and then automatically create an invoice and bill the customer with the invoice. We also do breakdowns as well. If you were putting time in here, you might you've got the option to be able to put in what you've worked on. If you want to run a process that rolls that time up into an invoice, then we've done sort of summary sheets where you can see a sort of breakdown of what all those hours are, so that the client can check that it looks correct to them. So let me put our contact details up there. We don't have any more questions on here as it stands. We normally stay on for up to an hour if you've got questions. But if you want to subscribe to Interface on YouTube and Bitrix24 on YouTube, then you'll get notifications about live sessions. We also do a webinar once a week, which you can register for on Bitrix24.com. So we're partners of Bitrix24, but we do some webinars and sessions like this as partners for them. You can register for webinars on the homepage of Bitrix24, and as I say, subscribe on YouTube. If you want to send questions in to sales@interface.com, we can answer those questions next week if you want. If your questions are quite in depth, we'll have a one-to-one call with you, show you how those features, requests, requirements will work inside Bitrix. We can set up a whole custom demo for you to show you how that would all work, present that to yourself and the other decision makers within your business. And we can do that sort of thing online, or potentially we can do it in person if you want an in-person demo as well. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any more questions, so we will finish the session there, but I hope to see you next time. Thanks for your time. Bye for now.